So again, good morning to all of you. How are you all, and how's your preparation is going on? So hope you are doing well. I welcome you all on the platform of Careerwill GS English. And today in this session, we will do some further topics of theory of supply, as we have already discussed all the topics related to the supply or elasticity of supply. In this session, we'll discuss about the components of elasticity of supply. So just come and let me know, am I audible and visible to everyone or not? Because this session is very much important for everyone whose preparation is going on. Okay. Second. Okay, so let's try to understand that what the topics that we have discussed in previous classes, so that we can understand all the topics that comes into the further topics, right? So first of all, I just want to make a little bit quick revision that we have discussed some topics like theory of supply. First of all, meaning that we have done, right? We have done the concepts, types. We have done some part of supply, that means types, we can say supply, law of supply, law of supply. Also we have discussed about the some topics like determinants that we have done. Then we have discussed about the in supply change in supply. In this change in supply, we have discussed the two parts. The first one is what? Movement in supply curve, and the second one is what? Shift in supply curve. Shift in supply curve. As we all know, in movement, it means supply curve is moving along with the curve, right? And in this section, we have discussed the two major part. That first one is expansion of supply, or you can say extension of supply, and the second one is what? Contraction of supply, right? And in this shift in supply, what we have discussed about the increase in supply or the decrease in supply, right? So this is the major part that we have completed in the supply. Then we have discussed the meaning of elasticity of supply. Elasticity of supply. Elasticity of supply. And then we have done some concepts. Now we need to understand the components, right? So first, I just want to let you know all Hmm. as like in component. First of all, components of ES. So what do you mean by this ES, elasticity of supply, right? What exactly the meaning of elasticity of supply? The percentage of magnitude. You need to understand this word magnitude, because in law of supply we just study the supply changes as the price changes. Either the price will increase, the supply will increase; the price will decrease, the supply will also decrease. As you all know, there is a positive relation between supply price and the quantity supplied. So how much price is increasing, by which quantity supplied is increasing or decreasing, if after the decreasing of price. So the change in the percentage of magnitude of quantity supplied. Magnitude means what? The measurement. Whenever you find out the measurement, that how much supply is increasing, then you just come to you need to understand the elasticity of supply, right? So first one is what? When First one is what? When ES is equals to 1. ES is equals to 1. You need to understand when ES is equals to 1. ES is equals to 1. As you all know, the name of this component is what? Unit elastic. Unit elastic. This is what is the name of this term? This is what? Unit elastic. What do you mean to say? This unit elastic means what? When there is a equal change in the percentage of price and percentage of quantity supplied. Okay, so yes, so ES is what? Elasticity is equals to what? Elasticity of supply is equals to 1. 1 means what? Unit elastic. Let's say try to take an example. Let's say this is a price, right? Let's say this is a price and this is a supply, a quantity supply. So if I just tell you, if there is a 10% increase in the price, if I am telling you there is a 10% increase in the price, what will be impact on the change in supply? The supply will be increased, supply will be also increased. That we have already discussed in our previous sessions. There is a positive relation between price and supply. So we can say, after the increment of 10% of price, there will be impact on the 10% on quantity supplied. If the both the change will be same, it means there, as you all know, ES is equals to what? ES is equals to what? Percentage change in quantity upon my percentage change in price. It means what? I am telling you what? There is 10% change in price, due to which the quantity supplied is changes by 10%. So it will become what? 1. So it means what? There is a equal change in the quantity supplied by the change in the percentage of price. So this is what the called unit elastic. This is what called unit elastic. Am I clear or not? This is what called unit elastic. So we can mention here what? We can mention here that there is a equal percentage changes in price and quantity. Am I clear or not? So this term that you need to understand, what do you mean this unit elastic? Am I clear or not? So how you can make the curve of this unit elastic? So you can make this like this, and the supply curve will what? This, like this, right? So we can say, if this is a quantity, if this is a quantity x 0 y, and this is a price, so if there is a same percentage changes in price, exactly equal to the same percentage change in quantity, so this is what this is what supply curve. So this is what the unit elastic, right? Now the second one is what? Second one is what? When there is a more change in the quantity supplies, comparatively less change in the price. Let's say when ES is greater than 1, which is called elastic supply. Elastic supply. What do you mean to say? Just sir, confirm. Just explain this, sir. What do you mean to say this? What do you mean this elastic supply? Actually, as I've already told you that there is a we are studying the theory of supply. It means what we do, we are not studying the changes in price, we are studying the changing in supply, and changing in supply just because of changing in price. So we are studying that how much supply is changing. It means we need to study about the elasticity is where in supply. It means we can say if there is a this is a price and this is a sub quantity supplied. If there is a 10% increase in the supply price of any commodity, a producer will supply more of commodity, right? So if there is a 10% change in the increase in the supply, increase in the price of particular product, producer will supply more percentage. It means I am saying producer is supplying 30%. Producer is supplying 30% of that particular quantity. It means if I ask to you that in if in both which is changing more, either it is price or quantity, you will say sir definitely one variable is changing 10% and the supply is changing 30%, definitely sir supply is more changing. So it means what, this situation, this condition is known as elastic supply. When supply is changing more than percentage of changing in price, so this will be considered as a elastic supply. This will be considered as a elastic supply. Just tell me, am I clear or not? This is what called elastic supply, which is more than one. Let's say, try to understand, when there is as you all know, es is equals to percentage change in quantity upon a percentage change in price. So how we can write here, what I am saying, that there is a 10% change in price and quantity is changing 30%. Quantity is changing 30%. Just cut it down, you will get the answer 3. It means what, you can say es is equals to 3, and I am what I am saying, 3 is more than 1. So it means what, it is a more than 1. So you can say this is what, elastic supply. This is what, elastic supply. So if you want to make this curve, so it will like this. X0 y, it will be little bit like this. It will be little bit like this. It means what, quantity is, the percentage of change in quantity is more, percentage is like if this is a quantity, this is a quantity, this is a price. Let's say at this price you are supplying this quantity. So price will change this to here, like P1, here it is P1. So P1 like this one, P1 is, let's say, this one. So just try to understand, I'm just asking to you, this is more or this is more, what will be your right answer? This is more or this is more? Your answer will be what, sir? This is more, this is more. So it means what, there is a less percentage change in price, there is a, due to which there is lot of, or you can say more percentage change in quantity, that is Q1. So this is what the, that is why this is little bit flat. This is the previous one, it is directly vertical, right? But this one little bit flat to the x-axis, flatter to the x-axis. So this is what the elastic supply, this is what the elastic supply. Now next is known as what, have you done or not? Just note it down, and just I just write the formula. So we can write here what? Change in quantity supplied is more than change in percentage of price. So this we can mention. This we can mention. So this is the situation when there is a change in quantity supplied is more than the change in percentage of price, then you can answer this is what called elastic supply, and this is what called equal percentage change in price and quantity, right? So this is what called unit elastic, and this is what called elasticity, elastic supply. Now the third one is what? Third one is what? When es is less than 1. When es is less than 1, so this is what called inelastic supply. This is what called inelastic supply. Inelastic supply. Sir, what do you mean to say? Just explain it. Actually, I mean to say that when there is a change in quantity supplied is less than change in the percentage of price of any commodity. Let's say the price of just I just want to confirm it with my hand. Let's say this is a price and this is my quantity supplied of a commodity, right? So this is a price, this is price. I am saying there is a 10% increase in the price of any commodity. There is a 10% increase in the price of commodity. What is not 10%, I am just telling 20%. 20% increase in the price of any commodity. Supplier means producer is supplying only 15% of commodity. Is this equal? You will say, sir, no, this is not equal. If I ask to you, is this if we talk about there is which is changing more, supply or price, your answer will be what? Sir, definitely price is changing 20% and quantity supplied is changing only 15%. So definitely price is not quantity is not changing that much equal to the change in price. So it means what? Sir, quantity is changing less. So if the quantity is changing less than the comparatively change in price of commodity, so this means what? Inelastic supply. When there is a less percentage of change in quantity supplied comparative to the more percentage of change in price of any commodity, this is what called inelastic supply, right? You can answer also like if I am saying this is the change es is equals to change in quantity upon change in price, percentage change in price. So here it is changing how much? 15% and price is changing 20%. 5 3 ja 5 4 ja 5 4 ja, what you will get? What you will get? 7.5 approx, this one, right? So not 7.5, just 0.75, right? So which is less than 1, which is 0.75 is less than 1. If anything less than 1, this is meant was inelastic supply. Inelastic supply. Am I clear? So how you can make the curve of this supply, inelastic supply? 0 y-axis, this is price and this is quantity supplied, right? So what will be the curve of supply? This will like this, little bit like this. This is what? Yes. There is more change in price. If I ask to you, this is a price, this is quantity, this is price. Let's say price increases here P1, here P1, and your quantity increasing here Q1. Just if I ask to you, which is increasing more, this one or this one? They, where is the larger gap, here or here? Your answer will be what, sir? You are able to see that there is a larger gap, there is a lesser gap, right? So your answer will be what? When there is a less percentage change in quantity and there is more percentage change in price, this is what called quantity supplied. This is what called inelastic supply. This is what called inelastic supply. So you can write what? So you can write what? When there is a percentage change in quantity supplied is less than percentage change in price of the commodity. So this is what called inelastic supply. This is what called inelastic supply. As you're able to see that I have explained the curve also, I have explained the concepts also, and also shown with the proof, with the formula. Just, am I clear or not? Just write it down fast. Tell me, am I clear or not? Everything is clear or not? Just tell me. Okay, now the next one is what? Now the next one is what? When ES is equals to 0. When ES is equals to 0, it means what is it called? That perfectly inelastic. Perfectly inelastic. Perfectly inelastic. So what do you mean to say? What does it mean perfectly inelastic? What is this? Price, now the price will be changed. Price will be changed, but the quantity will not be changed. Quantity will be the same. It means what, sir? I just explain within a descriptive way. Let's say this is a price and this is a quantity of supply, quantity of any commodity, right? So if the price increases 10%, 20%, 50%, or the decreasing 10%, 30%, 40%, let's say if this is price, let's say price increasing 10%, quantity will be the same. Price decreasing 30%, again the quantity supply of quantity will be the same. So this is what called, there is not changing any percentage, there is not changing any percentage in the quantity supplied by the producer in a market. So this is what called, there is 0%. I'm saying now there is 0% changing in the quantity supplied by the producer. So definitely no change in, so it means no elastic, no, you will not able to see any elasticity in the supply. So that is why it is called perfectly inelastic. This is why it is called perfectly inelastic. So what will be curve, what will be the curve? So if I just ask to you that es is equals to, as you all know, es is equals to what, delta percentage in quantity upon my percentage in price, is it means what, change in price, let's say 10%, quantity will be 0%, quantity is the same, quantity will be the same, it means what, 0.10 is equals to 0. So there is no change in any amount of quantity supplied by the producer, so it will become 0. So that is why this is called perfectly inelastic. So what will be the curve of the perfectly inelastic? What will be the curve of perfectly inelastic? Let's say this is y-axis, this is the x-axis, x 0, y its price, this is quantity, right? This is price, this is quantity. Now quantity is same, quantity is not changing. In examination it may be asked quantity, and let's say this is a price. Here I'm writing the price, let's say p, right? So at point p you are supplying this much of commodity, you are supplying this much of quantity. Price changes to p1, price changes to p1, again you are supplying the same quantity. Price changes to p2, price changes to p2, again you are supplying the same commodity. Price changes to p3, again it is same quantity. You are the producer is supplying the same quantity. It means what, there is nothing change in the supply of commodity, there is only change in the percentage in the price of commodity. It means what, this is what called perfectly inelastic, and the curve is known as what, vertically curve, right? The shape of curve will be what? So in examination question may be asked that what will be the shape of curve when there is a perfectly inelastic. So what will be your right answer? That is vertical curve of supply. Supply curve will be vertical, or you can say here, you can write the answer that supply curve will be in vertical shape. So that you need to mark. So you can write here what, you can write here what, that no change in, no change in quantity supplied due to change in price of the commodity. So this is what called, so this is what called perfectly inelastic. This is what called perfectly inelastic. This is what called perfectly inelastic. Just write it down fast. Am I clear or not? So this is what I want to explain. Hope so it has been clear to you all. Now the next and the last one is what? When ES is equals to infinite, or you can say it is, yes, infinite. Infinite, or you can say undefined. Undefined. So this is what called, so this is what called, this is what called perfectly, this is what called perfectly, perfectly elastic. Perfectly elastic. This is the situation of perfectly elastic. Sir, what do you mean to say? Kindly explain it. Now this is a just opposite situation of previous one that we have discussed, that is perfectly inelastic. In that situation, quantity is constant after the changing in the price. Price sometimes decreases, sometimes increases and decreases, but the quantity will be the same supplied by the producer. That was perfectly inelastic. But in this situation, price will be the same. Price will be in the constant situation. Price will not change, but still the quantity supplied by the producer might be changed, and how much it will change, that is not defined, because price is not changing. As you all know, supply of commodity by the producer is totally dependent on the price, and price is not changing. So if the price is not changing, so there is no dependency. It means the quantity supplied, if the quantity supplied is changing by the quantity supply is changing by the producer, so there is no dependence. So how much they will change, that we don't know, that is not defined. So that is why it is called undefined, or you can say infinite, or you can say perfectly elastic, because price is constant, supply is changing, only the supply is changing. Sometime it increase, sometime it decrease. How much it will increase, how much it will decrease, that we don't know. This is what called perfectly elastic. So what will be the curve of the perfectly elastic, that we need to understand. So let's say this is a x-axis, this is sorry, y x-axis, and this is y0, and this is y-axis. Now this is quantity, and this is what? Price of commodity. Now here I just want to tell you one thing. Now price is constant, what I just said, price is constant. Let's say this is the price, let's say this is price which is constant. Let's say this is price which is constant, and at this price you are supplying commodity, you are supplying commodity. So this is what called supply curve, this is supply curve, this is what called supply curve. And at this price you are supplying how much, we don't know, because the price is constant. You can supply this much also, this much also, this much also, this much also, and how much you will supply, there is not defined, because the price is totally constant at the place, right? So what the situation, or you can say what what is the shape of supply curve you are getting? The shape of supply curve is what? Shape of supply curve will what? That in horizontal to the x-axis. Shape of, here you can say the shape of supply curve, shape of supply curve will be horizontal. will be in horizontal shape. Have you got my point or not? Have you got my point or not? So that question may be asked in your exam, that what is the shape of supply curve in perfectly elastic? So what the answer will be, that the shape of supply curve will be horizontal in shape. The shape of supply curve will be horizontal in the shape at the time of perfectly elastic. So what do you mean to say, sir? I mean to say there is, I mean to say when quantity supplied by producer is undefined, is undefined due to constant, or you can say no changes in price, changes in price. So this is what called perfectly elastic. This is what called perfectly elastic. This is what called perfectly elastic. Just tell me, am I clear to all of you or not? So this is what called perfectly elastic. So there is 5 situations that we have discussed in elasticity of demand, sorry, elasticity of supply. The first one is what, the first one is what, unit elastic, where we have discussed about that how much percentage is, the percentage of change in price is just exactly equal to the percentage change in quantity supplied by the producer, right? This is what called, that was unit elastic, because there is, the answer will be 1, because the same percentage of changing in price and the quantity supplied by the producer. Now the next one was what, how much, if the next one is what, elastic supply. Elastic supply means what, when there is a equal percentage, not equal, when there is a more percentage change in the quantity supplied by the producer comparative to the less percentage change in the price of that commodity. This is what called elastic supply, and we have seen that curve is little bit flatter, curve is little bit flatter than before that one. I'm asking about this one. Curve is little bit flatter, right? And the next one is what, es is less than 1, which is called inelastic, where the supply changes but the percentage of the quantity supplied changes not that much, comparatively change in the percentage of price of that commodity. It means percentage change in price is more than percentage change in quantity supplied by the producer. This is what called inelastic supply. The fourth one is that we have discussed, es is equals to 0, which is called the perfectly inelastic, where the price is changing 10%, 40%, 90%, or how much percentage, that we don't know, but quantity is same at every point of time, every situation. This means what, quantity will be the same at every level of changing in price. So this is what called perfectly inelastic. And what is the shape of the curve in perfectly inelastic? This is what, supply curve will be in vertical shape, vertical shape. And the last that we have discussed, es is infinite, es is infinite, which is called undefined. What does it mean? This is called perfectly elastic. This is what called perfectly elastic. Good morning, good morning. Why you have just late in this class? Now class is going to be ended right now. Where you were? Hmm. So there is perfectly elastic, no way. So what is the situation in this type? So situation is what, if the price is changing, no sorry, price is constant, price is constant, but how much the demand, how much the supply is changing more and more. It may be possible it will be more or less, because the changing in supply not defined that how much supply will change, how much supply will change. That is means there is no any dependence on the quantity supplied of any or on anything, because main dependency is what, price, and price is constant. So how much the quantity will change, that we don't know. So this is what called perfectly elastic. The shape of the shape in perfectly elastic, this is what horizontal shape of curve, horizontal shape of supply curve, right? So when there is a quantity supply by producer is undefined due to constant, or you can say no change in the price of commodity, price of commodity. This is what called perfectly elastic, right? So this is all about today's class. Now the next session will be totally dependent that what are the many questions that have been asked from this topic, that we will discuss in further classes. Thank you so much all. We'll try to understand some more topics, more basic concepts, and don't forget to give your comments, give your suggestions, give your favors unfavors regarding this class in your comment box. Thank you so much all. We'll meet in next class, and I hope I have just deliver all the informations in easy to easy language with you and discussed with you. Thank you so much. We'll meet in next class. Goodbye, take care, Jai Hind.